Long time ago in the village of Kalu, there lived an old couple by the name Mr. and Mrs. Jacob. Mr. and Mrs. Jacob had a generational shrine passed down to them by Mr. Jacob's parents. They literally asked anything they wanted from the shrine. They'd placed sacrifices of goats, sheep, hen, and at times cows. The level of sacrifice depended on whatever they wanted and desired. They used the same shrine as a source of income by practicing black magic to help others who came to them. They used the same shrine to capture destinies, stars of other people and pass them down to their own children. All Mr. Jacob's children were old enough except for their last-born son, Daniel. Daniel stayed with his parents without knowing their secret because he was a church lover. One day, Daniel met a beautiful lady by the name Cindy. Daniel and Cindy were so in love and he immediately proposed to her after a few dates. When Daniel took Cindy to his parents pretended to like her and they bestowed a fake blessing to them and they got married. Daniel and Cindy got married and Daniel went to the city to search for greener pastures for his growing family. He left his wife under the care of his parents. 2 months passed and Cindy found out that she was pregnant. A few months later, she put to bed a bouncing baby girl that shook so much in the spirit. Anne was born with a great destiny and her birth was a threat to many people. The witches and wizards, including her own grandparents, wondered who Anne was because a star shone so brightly in the spirit. When Anne was 2, she started getting sick. There's a time her mother almost gave up and placed her under a tree to die. But luckily a man of God who happened to be passing by prayed for Anne and she recovered. One night, Mr. and Mrs. Jacob sat discussing.
I think we've found the one who will finally take over this shrine once we die. Anne seems to be a good candidate.
Mrs. Jacob then answered.
Exactly. There seems to be something about her. She seems to possess a lot of power, and a star shines so brightly. She's highly gifted and she can handle our ancestral shrine quite well.
The next day, Mr. Jacob took Anne secretly to the shrine and initiated her as the next in line to inherit the shrine. Anne, being a child, did not understand what was going on. Few years later, Mr. Jacob died, and as for Mrs. Jacob, age was slowly catching up with her. She kept wondering why Anne didn't even realize that there was a shrine she was supposed to take over. Anne was fully devoted to God. She was a prayer warrior. One day, as Anne was praying, Mrs. Jacob started shouting,
I am on fire! I am on fire!
Anne stepped outside only to find her old grandmother on the floor crying for help.
Granddaughter, please stop praying. Stop praying. Your prayers are affecting me. I will confess, my late husband and I have been practicing black magic for a long time. We have killed many who are a threat to us. We have stolen destinies, and when you were born, your star shone so brightly. We identified you as the best to take over our shrine, but you love prayers so much. You are different. I am now finished. There is no one to serve our gods anymore, and now I'm being punished for that. I don't think I will ever make it again. This is my last chance on earth.
When Mrs. Jacob finished talking, she fell down and died. Anne realized that the dreams she had been having were real. She was actually initiated to a shrine as a child. She located the shrine and set it ablaze. The end. If you've enjoyed this story, please support me by giving it a like, subscribe, and share. And please leave a comment on the comment section telling me if you enjoyed the story and tell me whatever city or country you're watching me from for me to give you a shout out on the next episode of Wonder Tales by Julian.